Hello, 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 and welcome to Nana's Crochet Ideas. I am your host, Terry, and today we're here to do some tags. So first I was tagged by Ambi at Ambi's Crafts Reads. I will link her channel down below. If you do not know who she is, please go and check her out. The tag she tagged me in was the hobby tag. So question one, within your personal library, do you collect books, for example, specific authors, editions, publishers, genres, etc.? That's an interesting question. In my personal library, I have a lot of mystery books. I also have several documentaries, but the majority of my library consists of I would say educational books. A lot of them have to do with books that I studied or read while I was in college that are on specific topics that I find extremely interesting to me. And so I still have those books and refer to them quite frequently. What is your non-bookish hobbies? Well, obviously crochet, knitting. I do crafts with my grandchildren, and that is pretty much any craft, several different crafts, usually a different craft each time we do it, different craft every year, so that I can expose them. I did this with my daughter as well, expose them to different crafts so they can find something that they really like. What hobbies have you fallen out of and why? So I don't know that I would say that I ever fall out of a hobby. When I was young, I knitted and crocheted. Then I started sewing my own clothing. So I did that for many years. And then I started sewing clothing for my children, and then I got into making quilts, mostly memory quilts. That was my thesis in college, was quilting through grief, and I spent many, many years working with other people and teaching them how to make and working with them on making memory quilts. During that time, I did not knit or crochet. I quit sewing primarily because my sewing machine was broken. Someone dropped it. And I didn't really feel like I had the funds to go out and buy the kind of sewing machine that I needed to have to do what I did. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't still sew. I just don't sew like I used to sew. Now I do more knitting and crocheting. I've also done diamond painting, and I do that with my daughter. And like I said, I do a lot of crafts with my grandkids. So I can't say that I actually fell out of any hobby. I just do it for a while, and then I switch to something else, and then I switch to something else, and I periodically go back to all of them. So I don't, it's just that one is more prominent at any given time of my life. Do you regret dropping these hobbies? No, I can't say that I regret, because I don't really feel like I dropped them. Sometimes I do miss sewing the way I used to sew. I've tried to figure out a way to do my memory quilts in crochet or knitting, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty in that. What hobbies do you wish you had? I can't say that there is a hobby I wish I had, because I have done an awful lot of hobbies. It's just that I like one more than another. Like I said, at any given moment, it switches up and I go back to it, or I do it certain times of the year. So I can't honestly say there is a hobby that I wish I had, because most of the things that I've wanted to try, I have done. So there you have it. So that's the end of those tag questions, and let's go to the next one. So this is a Halloween tag. So the first question is, what is your favorite Halloween movie? I am not really a horror film watcher, although there are movies that are classified as horror that I do watch. But I think my all-time favorite has to be Hocus Pocus. And I just saw Hocus Pocus 2. I'm not sure when it came out, but I didn't know it came out, but I just saw it. If you were in a horror movie, how far would you get? It depends on how much of a horror it was and how much of a mystery thriller it had to it. If it had a mystery thriller theme running through it, I would probably get pretty far. If it was strictly horror, gruesome, gory kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't, because I'm just not into that. So I probably would kind of opt out, sort of. Okay, what is your favorite memory of Halloween? I think I would have to say that my favorite Halloween memory, although I used to, when I was younger and single before I had children, throw Halloween parties every year. But I think that my favorite was when my son was like a teenager, and we decided that we were going to have some of his friends come over, and we turned the house into, well, the garage, we have an outside room, and the outside, into a haunted house. So when the kids came to my house, because in the tract where I live, they close off the streets, so huge numbers of kids come here to trick-or-treat. And so we set it up so that when they came to trick-or-treat, they had to go through the haunted house. We had a signal or something, so depending on how young or old the kids were, depended on how scary it was when they went through. That was a lot of fun. So that, I would say, was my favorite memory. Okay, my best, worst Halloween costume. You know, it's interesting that whenever I do these tags, I always have to clarify what a word means. So I have a couple that I would call best. Now, if you consider the best costume to be best makeup, the one you look the best in, whatever, then my best costume would be the cat that I was. I had done my own makeup. If I might say so myself, I did a great job on it. And I worked for the phone company. I dressed up every year for Halloween. And so that was the best as far as the effect and the look that I got from it. Now, if you want to call the best costume the one that you were most hidden and people didn't necessarily know who you were in, then the best costume would have been, I made a costume that year, and I made from Seven Dwarfs, I was Dopey. Say what you will, it's okay. That was my best costume. I loved that costume, and I wore it multiple years to multiple events. Okay, how do you get into the Halloween spirit? This is a tricky one for me because I don't really celebrate Halloween since I've been grown. So, I mean, I do have grandchildren that are young. They all dress up for Halloween. Sometimes I do their makeup for them. And sometimes I go out with them when they go trick-or-treating, but I wouldn't say that I necessarily have to get into the spirit of Halloween. Being with my grandkids, them being dressed up, them having a great time, I guess that kind of puts me in the spirit. Okay, favorite Halloween decoration. Now, I don't decorate for Halloween anymore since my kids have grown and moved out. But my daughter loves the blow-up things that you put outside for Halloween. So I would say my favorite Halloween decoration is she has this dragon that's probably as tall, if not taller, than the house. That is my favorite decoration right now. Name one unusual thing that you're afraid of. So it has some or to this question, so I guess I'm supposed to pick one or the other. I don't know. So it's vampires or zombies. I guess if I had to pick one, I would say zombies. Werewolves or ghosts. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily afraid of either of them. Creepy dolls or creepy clowns. I would say creepy dolls. And the final question is, do you believe in ghosts? And my answer is absolutely yes, I do believe in ghosts. Okay, so I am going to tag some people. Lottie loves to do tags. So Lottie, you are tagged for both of these. Donna, AJ, and Ambi, you can all do the Halloween tag. And Jane from Scraptastic Yarns, you are tagged for both of them. So, enjoy, ladies. And anybody else who wants to do either of the tags, please feel free to do them. You know, obviously I can't name everybody, so I did pick just a few. I should have my glasses. I say that every time, and I don't ever have them. Might just be the day, ladies. It might just be the day. All right. If you want to change the direction of your life, change the direction of your lips. There you have it. May God bless you all today and every day. Have a wonderful few days. And I will talk to you again in the next one. Bye now.